Hey, lovely to meet you. It's Phil Morrison. I help quiet people to overcome social anxiety, play to their natural strengths, and thrive in life. In today's video, I'm going to teach you how to find the inner strength to turn quietness into a strength of yours and overcome social anxiety. I'm going to do this by sharing my story. So when I was in high school and college, so from the ages of 12 to 18, I was the most quiet guy in the entire year. So in high school, I could go days barely saying a word out loud. So I wasn't mute, but I would barely speak. And for me, there was this feeling of isolation and a lack of trust in people. I remember on my first day in high school, so I went into the form class, around 30 kids in the class, and I chose to sit on a back row, isolated from all the other kids. And for some reason, I don't know exactly what the underlying reason was. So I had friends in primary school, but I just completely shut myself off from people, avoided them at all costs because I was scared when I was in high school. I would walk around with my arms folded like this. This was my normal body language. The best body language I had, no joke, was to have my hands in my pockets. If I had my hands in my pockets, that would have been me on a super confident day. So in high school, I existed in shutdown mode 24/7. And even though I was present, I was physically there in classes, I wasn't present at the same time because my body language would let you know that I was closed off from all people. So I was totally isolated. And with this came a lot of anxiety. Anxiety would build, tension would build, and fear would get stronger, stronger, and stronger. I didn't realize it at the time, I didn't have the knowledge, but I was in a negative spiral. So anxiety came, then depression came after this. And I had a good, all of high school pretty much, and the 2 years at college, that period of time where anxiety and depression for me were just chronic, just 24/7. I'd wake up with this crazy level of tension in my chest, stomach, neck, cheeks, face, tension everywhere. This anxiety, this tension, and it wouldn't go away. I would try to get rid of it, but this would not make a difference. And it started to escalate when I was in high school, to the point where I'd come home for the day, be watching TV with my parents and younger brother, and I could barely follow the TV shows because these feelings of tension, this refrigerator humming in my chest and stomach, was so strong that I couldn't focus on the TV show. My focus, my mental RAM was occupied with these sensations. And it came from being so isolated and closed off from people. In addition, to make matters worse, when I was in high school, probably halfway through the second year of high school, year 8, between then and about year 9, I developed bright yellow skin. So of course I would get bullied and teased for having yellow skin, being completely quiet, total outcast. And my two friends were basically, we were part of the misfit crew. The people that were outcasted, didn't fit in, didn't have social skills, didn't know how to stand up for themselves. That was me in high school. And I thought my quietness was a major weakness. I thought there must be something wrong with me. Maybe I'm just dumb. Maybe there's something a condition I have. Maybe all people are bad and I can't trust them. I really did not know. And at that time in my life, as crazy as this sounds to me now, I didn't realize how important people skills were. I thought that I could get by in life and succeed without having to develop social skills. So I didn't have the best mindset. When I went to college, my mindset was even worse. So I'd seen a lot of personal development content to try and overcome my issues in high school, improving social skills and so on. And I watched this stupid video on YouTube with bad advice. Makes me laugh looking back. And the advice was to never make more than 50% of the effort in a conversation, otherwise you'll be taken for granted and treated like a mug. So when I went to college, I went to a different college actually than pretty much everyone in my high school, because I wanted a fresh start. So I would get the train to college, traveling. I had this stupid mentality, ego mentality, that I got from a YouTube video where I was making sure that I would never make more than 50% of the effort in a conversation. And this basically led to me making 0 friends when I was in college. And because a lot of people in the college already knew each other from high school, because it was a sixth form college, it made it even harder to get to know people. And because I was embarrassed and ashamed to have no friends and be isolated and not have good social skills, I actually went further down the path of avoiding people. I went further the wrong way, further down the wrong path. And basically, there was a local forest near the college, and whenever there was a break between lessons, I would basically walk around this forest just to be by myself with my own thoughts and have that breathing room from people, because I always felt smothered and trapped and like there was something more to life and I was missing out on something. So that was my experience of college. And at college, because I had no social contact going on whatsoever, I never was brave enough at that time to tell my parents about this. And that they also have social anxiety, by the way, but were also shut down. So I literally sunk down further and further and further. Depression got stronger and stronger, anxiety got stronger, and I got to the point of self-harming. Just to feel something, just to get some attention, just to be seen, I went down the route of self-harming. And everything changed when I moved city for university. So when I moved from Manchester to Birmingham, I went to University of Birmingham and studied biosciences. I started to go out there and socialise more, because I'd gotten so sick and tired of being isolated and closed off. I'd gone so far down the wrong path to such an extreme that I'd reached a breaking point, and I basically said, no effing way, I'm not going to go down that path again. I'm going to be a bit like Will from The In-Betweeners, just tag along to different social groups, be an absolute nuisance, just stick in there, keep on going until I make some friends, get confident, get the social skills right, no matter what it takes. So I had this ambition, and I was really, really focused, and just living with other students in halls of residence, going to different socials as a fresher, someone at the first year of university, and then making friends with people on my course, being super, super proactive. This made such a difference. And just by turning up to socials left, right and centre and pushing my comfort zone, I was growing in confidence a lot. Still someone that you would describe as quiet and shy, but nothing like as quiet and shy as I was in high school and college. And this was really just willpower and exposure therapy, without any real understanding of exactly what I needed to do to get to where I wanted to get to. I simply watched YouTube videos of people that had overcome different challenges, to learn things, to get inspired. And I just pushed myself to go to all these different socials, left, right and centre, whether it's a nightclub, martial arts lesson, salsa dancing, whatever it was, I was there. And I remember making lots of mistakes, not really understanding all the different social dynamics, but I was out there learning from scratch. I'd missed out a lot on socialising, spending time with other people, so I was making up for lost time. And within the space of 6 months to a year, I realised that this tension and anxiety that I was experiencing had basically gone away. My skin wasn't yellow by this point either, was a normal colour, as it is now. So 6 months of regular socialising, several times a week, without any direction beyond that, any action beyond that, that on its own was enough to lift the worst of the social anxiety off my chest. So I continued on my journey, patiently and calmly, learning lots about personal development from different teachers, pushing my comfort zone further and further. And by the time I was, let's say, about 24, I'd made a massive difference, and I was someone that you would describe as on the quiet side, but nothing more than that. You would say, okay, this guy Phil, yeah, he's a bit quiet, he's a bit shy, but beyond that, you wouldn't think I was extremely quiet or extremely shy, just on the shy side. And that's a monumental transformation from the extremities of crippling social anxiety, where I could only really leave the house for class, to the point where I was just on the quiet side, but able to be there in social situations and put myself out there to some extent. So then what I decided to do at that point was reach out and get mentorship. This was a bit before COVID. I'd hit a few breaking points, partly because I couldn't get a girlfriend at the time, and partly because I felt I'd hit a plateau. I'd made so much progress by myself, the lone wolf approach to personal growth, but I'd hit some sort of brick wall, and I felt that my life had become a hamster wheel, just getting up, doing work, coming back, and not really growing that much. And I wanted to see what was possible. So I emailed this guy that I'd watched for years on YouTube, and I asked him if I could receive some coaching on getting more confident with people. And I did the coaching, a 6-week coaching program, and it changed my life. So the program focused on honesty, letting my guard down, being more honest with my parents, being more honest with work colleagues, friends, strangers, every single person that I was speaking to, even being more honest with myself. So honesty was the main focus. And being brave enough to let my guard down and get that exposure. The real exposure therapy, where you're being vulnerable, you're putting your true personality on the line. There's that authenticity there, and the emotions are there as well. You're not hiding your own emotions. You're allowing people to see that you're afraid and nervous. You're allowing people to see that you have insecurities. You're basically not hiding any part of you from yourself and from other people as best as you can. And because I got so much value from this program, it was really just what I personally needed. I did more coaching, then more coaching, then even more coaching. And I got to a stage where I was confident. I was doing a PhD at the time at University of Birmingham. And I was confident. After this year of being coached every single week and taking massive action, doing things like improv comedy classes, live improv comedy shows, public speaking, focusing on my health and fitness, I was really going for it in all areas of my life. And I realized that the confidence was just flowing in me. This might sound hard to understand if you've not experienced it, but it felt like the confidence was just in my blood and it was just flowing around my system. I was like, wow, I really believe in myself. I don't feel so stifled. I feel like I have power, I have strength. I'm really letting myself shine. I'm playing to my strengths in life. I'm not holding back. I'm living fearlessly. Or as fearlessly as I could. I'm pushing it further, further, further. So in that year, I transformed to the extent where you wouldn't think this guy's on the quiet or shy side. You would say, oh, Phil, he's a confident guy. He's outspoken, he's confident. Despite being quiet as a default, he's actually pretty confident when you get to know him. So I made loads of progress. And because I'd experienced so much progress, I was motivated to get into coaching. I wanted to help other people out who have social anxiety and fast track their progress. So I took mentorship on how to coach from one of the best guys in the world. And I learned how to coach. And I first built a free business helping people out with social anxiety. And the free business grew. It was taking off. I was getting results because I'm a natural coach. You know, I've really been through a lot of challenges and overcome some stuff. Been into personal development for a long time, and I realized that things were really clicking into place for me, and I was connected to my purpose in life. So I took the plunge and said, let's turn this free business into a full-time living. And I just jumped into the deep end and did that. And that was last year. So last year was my first year, full-time business. The year before, I'd gone from a free business to a part-time business. But last year I just jumped in the deep end, coaching on a paid level, and I made the bills every single month, expanded further. further. And by coaching other people, I really learned what helps people out when it comes to overcoming social anxiety, how to point out strengths in people and give them that inner strength and motivation to learn to trust people again, forgive people that have wronged them, be open, put themselves truly out there and develop real confidence. So I learned how to coach. And there's no better way to help people be honest and find inner strength than to be honest with people you're coaching and live by example. Live what you want to teach. Lead by example and live what you want to teach. Live and breathe what you're teaching so it's real. I'm not a counsellor, so when people come to me, I'm not going to pick up a textbook and give them some book advice. I'm going to talk from real experience. I'm going to bring everything to the table. I have a routine, a discipline routine, which helps any person overcome anxiety and build more confidence. I know the process of overcoming social anxiety inside and out, and my ambition is to be the best social anxiety coach in the world. That's my ambition, and I honestly believe that I can achieve it based on the results that I've been getting, how committed I am, and how much progress that I'm making as a coach. So something that I guess is important to point out, since I mentioned the word inner strength in this video, and this relates to motivation. So motivation follows action taken, not the other way around. So you have to find a way to take some action. For example, joining a gym, going to exercise classes, getting your diet right. And when you can win that inner battle and overcome that inner resistance to actually going to the gym, eating healthy, making positive lifestyle changes, motivation will then follow. Inner strength will then follow. And you can use this motivation to actually take on more positive lifestyle changes. Maybe you say, from now on, I'm going to go to one social every single week. I'm going to find a social in my area, whether it's through friends, family, websites like meetup.com, Eventbrite. You're going to find a social every single week and go to it without fail. When you start to build these habits, you get momentum, and the momentum really builds your confidence up fast. And what I learned about confidence as well is that it's like muscle memory. So even if you lose the confidence, something shatters you, breaks you, you can quickly pick yourself back up and rebuild by getting back to your routine. Even today, I had a coaching session, a really interesting one actually, with a security guard that had moved here from Pakistan 1 to 1.5 years ago, and he had anxiety, and he actually brought his wife along to the coaching session. It was really interesting, and I always learn a lot from helping other people. I'm a student as well as a teacher. And this guy was saying that he spends most of his days watching other people because he's a security guard, and he tries to pick up on their vibe within seconds. Is this person trustworthy and genuine? Are they not genuine? And he's picking up these things super quickly because he's seeing so many people. And it's not about how you look, it's about your energy. And interestingly, I'll tell you how I arranged this taster. This sounds like it's a side, but it does tie in with it. So I just met up with a friend of mine who used to be a long-term client in town called Sonny. Had a really great chat. And I was in Tesco Express getting a meal deal. And I was getting a Costa coffee from the machine inside the shop. And the machine was playing up. And I was chatting to the security guard and saying that, you know, the machine's not actually working properly. And it's not poured me out a coffee, it's just poured out the milk but no coffee. Is it okay if I throw this cup away and make another drink? So we got chatting, had a conversation. And he really liked my energy. He said, you know, you seem like a really positive, upbeat person. I like the energy. Can I ask